Good evening, race fans. Welcome here to the cornfields of Iowa for tonight's Iowa 110. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me in the booth is Alayton Norgard, and our race controller as well this evening is Jesse Rasimas. Guys, how you doing this evening?
Doing pretty well, Robert. Looking forward to one last race without Will. Should be competitive for the win for sure.
Doing pretty good myself. Just doing some last minute checks here, make sure everything's good to go.
125 laps, 5 sets of tires this evening in race number 8 of this season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting grid as the field is currently sitting down there on pit lane, getting set to roll out here momentarily. Leading them off from the pole is Jay Connor in the number 9 machine with JP Phillips to his outside in car number 31. Row number 2, Gavin Higgins in the 20, Jaden Rasimas in the 19 to complete that KOR Motorsports team. 3 cars in the top 4. Dusty Doerr in 5th, Frank Fody 6th, David Westergreen, Andrew Hardcastle in 7th and 8th, with Dominic Wright and Josh Smith rounding out the top 10. Kyle Hanshaw, Kill Pocock in row number 6. Alayton, take us through to position number 24.
13th, we got Austin Inadnit. 14th, Andrew Rucker. 15th, Michael Hosick. Corey Abbott in 16th. Justin Vandermeerel in 17th. Harrison Talon in 18th. Ray Bracey's starting in 19th. Josh Clark in 20th. Chris James 21st. Jay Mitchell in 22nd. Sam Beltwell in 23rd. And Jeff Ryan in 24th.
The rest of the field is Connor Thompson, 25th, Dave Huckleberry, 26th, Kurt Gibson, Tommy Ryan, Rob Mooney, and Caleb Pecuma round out the top 30, with Chris Albrecht, Mitch Javier, Mark Robilas, and Josh Osborne rounding out the 34-car field here tonight, guys. Another pace lap coming up, so why don't we go ahead and get some race picks in. And he wasn't here last week, but back with us tonight. Jesse, why don't you go ahead and give us your pick here for Iowa?
I'm gonna have to go with Jay Connor. But as another FYI, Robert, just so you know, our monitor is missing.
Jay Connor, the pick there for Jesse Rasimas. Alayton Norgard going to give us his pick here in just a moment.
Kind of a last-second change for me, but I'm going to go with JP Phillips tonight.
JP Phillips, the Unacceptable Racing, number 31, the pick of Alayton Norgard. I'm going to go a little bit deeper in the field. We're going to go south to South Shore Racing. It's going to be the 09 of David Westergreen going to get it done here tonight as we get set to go here in just a moment. Going to hand the field over to Barney the flagman. He's got the green flag in hand. The green flag's in the air, and we are underway racing here at the Iowa Speedway. And into turn number 1, it's Jay Connor leading the way. He's got Gavin Higgins right behind him. Shout out to neighbor Pete as JP Phillips clears Jaden Rasimas. Frank Fody up to 5th as the battle's on between Dusty Doerr and Frank Fody, working their way for positions number 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's looking like a pretty good start here so far. Always kind of iffy on short-ish tracks how that's going to go, but lap 1 stay green, lap 2 off to a good start.
Bit of a bobble there for Jaden Rasimas up on the high side of Frank Fody. He's able to gather it back up, does continue on as we see some movement towards the rear of the field. Jeff Ryan, Tommy Ryan, and the 30 of Connor Thompson all together there as they work their way off of turn number 4. Back up front, leading the way, Jay Connor is 0.2 of a second over Gavin Higgins as Higgins gets a good run here off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. We'll see if he's able to close in on that 9 machine of Connor and give him some sort of a fight for this top spot as those two pulling away a little bit from third place JP Phillips on lap number 4.
Yeah, you mentioned Tommy Ryan being in the back. He seems to like to do these back-to-front challenges in a lot of these races. Kind of makes things quite a bit harder for himself, for sure.
As you see the battle brewing between Gavin and Jay for that top spot, Connor going to lead us here to lap number 5. Higgins there in the 2nd spot. Hosick and Smith battling it out here as you see a bit of a bobble there. Vandermeerel on the inside, Josh Smith on the high side. Of course, folks, just a programming note. Tomorrow night here on the Elite Racing Network, you'll be seeing qualifying and duels to set the field for our upcoming Daytona 500. That'll be 1 week from tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that as we watch Corey Abbott battling with Andrew Rucker. I believe that to be Austin and Abnett. Yes, it is an Abnett there as well, as they're going to split Dewar 3 wide. Cale Pocock up on the high side, Rucker down on the bottom, Dewar in the middle, as the battle for the lead has subsided just a little bit there. Connor pulls away to 0.2 of a second over Gavin Higgins, as Higgins holds on to second, Phillips third, Rasimas fourth, Fody in position number 5, Dominic Wright up to 6, David Westergreen in 7th, Hardcastle, Hanshaw, and Pocock. That's the rest of your top 10, as looks like we got a battle brewing as well between Kirk Gibson. No, actually, it's Rob Mooney and Mark Rabilis. We got battles all throughout this 31st and 32nd here, as these guys duking it out for that spot.
Yeah, one of the kind of interesting things about Iowa is that a lot of the time the dominant line is not the bottom. If you want to make passes, the place to do it more often than not is on the top. So I was a little surprised to see Rucker making the moves that he was on the bottom, but I think the tires have gotten enough wear on them that it's not going to keep working as well.
We saw issues there for Austin and Abnett. He was able to gather it back up and did continue on, but not before losing a handful of positions there. And Abnett going to be A-okay, but does fall fairly deep in the field, back to the 25th position behind his teammate Caleb Pecumer and affiliate driver Sam Boutwell, as they're 23rd, 24th, and 25th on the scoring docket. And I believe this is another new look here for Ray Bracey here this evening, guys, as he's running, of course, the number 7 machine, coming off of the front straightaway now. This guy always has some interesting vibes on that 7 car.
Yeah, I noticed his car looked a little different in practice here before we started, and yeah, he's always bringing good-looking paints to these races.
Now, coming up to 12 laps completed here already. We'll bring Jesse back in. Jesse, what are your thoughts on the race so far? Obviously looking pretty clean, pretty green.
Yeah, pretty clean, pretty green. So don't see any major issues. I'm scanning the field here, and it looks like everyone's giving each other enough room. There was one small incident with the 09 and the 32, but right front fenders on some of these guys are getting a little rubbed off on the walls and whatnot. But Ray Bracey's car definitely does look good. It kind of has the Jeff Gordon throwback vibe there. He kind of ran a special paint scheme that was very, very similar in colors. I don't remember the exact year, but I vaguely remember it.
Definitely a good call out there, the comparison to Jeff Gordon's previous paint schemes. I want to point out a driver here, Harrison Talon, driving the number 1 machine. Harrison was forced to take a bit of a hiatus, we should say, from elite competition over the last calendar year or so. Now making his return tomorrow night officially in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. So going to be good to see Harrison back here as we have a battle for the race lead. Gavin Higgins briefly had it here on Jay Connor, but Connor with the runoff at turn number 2 going to have the advantage down the back straightaway as Higgins takes a dive down to the inside this time. They're going to be side by side off of turn number 4 through that Geico restart zone back to the start finish line. 17 laps in. Actually, no, still make that 16. Seems like they're ticking a little slow here today, but 16 laps down, a lot of laps to go, and it's Connor and Higgins leading the way, and JP Phillips slowly working his way back up there in that Smart Water number 31 machine.
Yeah, the couple laps of that battle there really kind of showed what I was talking about with the lines earlier. When you're entering on the bottom, you can get a good entry, but your exit is going to be severely compromised by having a car on your outside there, so you can't get a good run. But the car on the top is always going to get a good run. So it's very, very difficult to complete a pass that way unless you can pull like a huge slide job on them.
So Higgins still side by side with Connor as they come off of turn number 4 this time. 18 laps now in the books. A couple drivers moving in the wrong direction at this point. Dustin Dewar down 17 spots on the day, back to that 22nd position. Definitely not where he wanted to be at this point. I gotta wonder if maybe he's cooking those tires a little bit too much in that 32 machine, as Jeff Ryan gonna go for a slide all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. He gathers it up on the inside of Shane Mitchell and Mitch Javier as they're gonna work their way positions 24, 25, and 26 off of turn number 4 this time. And another driver on the move backwards, Austin and Nabnett. And, oh, that got tight right there between Ryan and Javier. But Nabnett right behind these guys. He's down 15 spots from his starting position. So definitely not the direction that Austin and Nabnett was hoping to go in the early running of this one.
For cars going the other direction, I think, I don't have the numbers up in front of me, but I would guess that Tommy Ryan is probably going to be at the top of that list. He's
By
up
far.
about 10 positions, something like that.
Tommy Ryan is up an even dozen, 12 spots, started 28th, currently up into position number 16 for Tommy Ryan in the unacceptable racing number 66. The next biggest mover, Alayton, is actually just a handful of guys that are up 5 spots on the day. Leading that is Andrew Rucker in position number 9. Now he's about to go for his 6th spot gained as he goes side by side with Cale Pocock. Corey Abbott up 5 spots as well. Mitch Javier also up 5 positions, and that's about gonna do it for the guys that have really moved. But we do have a battle here between Frank Foti and Jaden Rasimas. Foti up 2 spots, Rasimas down 1 position. Jaden's doing a really nice job holding his own up here inside the top 5 as Frank Foti trying to clear him. It's going to get real tight off turn number 4 here. Luckily, Jaden did give a little bit of extra space to the Frank Foti number 41 car. Otherwise, it could have got real tight off of the corner that time.
Yeah, both those cars are doing a really good job running up in the top 5 here. Really kind of showing what the ARCA series can do for these drivers, because while those two are definitely good drivers, they're not people you would expect to see in the top 10 in, say, the Truck or Xfinity series all the time, but definitely showing what they can do in the ARCA series.
Yeah, if I had a private channel to Jaden, I'd probably tell him to just let that spot go, because the more they race side by side, the closer the guys behind him are going to get. So,
I mean, you could just yell, right? He'd probably hear you.
yeah, it's quite a ways away, but
Just yell really loud. So one thing to keep in mind here, the reason I have the battle box up right now is Jake Connor just ahead of Gavin Higgins. They're only about a third of a lap behind David Huckleberry, who currently is the last car on the lead lap in position number 34. So when lap traffic comes into play, actually, maybe we'll drop back just 1 spot here because JP Phillips just entered the picture as well. He's up in the fight, but once lap traffic comes into play, things could get very, very interesting up here towards the front of the field, because these cars are starting to get real tight on these guys. Tires starting to go away, approaching 30 laps into this one, still on that same green flag that we got well, about 15 minutes ago or so. So these guys doing a really nice job on this opening run.
Yeah, these guys have reached the point, I think, in the run where times are gonna plateau pretty much. I don't think they're gonna fall off a ton more from this point, but I do think that with the fighting that Gavin and Jay have done in the top 2, they've kind of opened the door here for JP to start making some moves as this run goes on. I was hoping we'd see a long green run, because that really rewards that more conservative start, but I wasn't sure we'd get it, but happy that we are.
And I mean, look at the screen right here. JP Phillips, the last 5 laps, has either been the exact same lap time as Gavin Higgins or quicker. So JP definitely on that move forward. And we'll see how the dirty air plays into effect. As you see right there, he did close in on the back end of Gavin Higgins. lost a little bit of ground as the battle does continue here for the top spot. There's been a change for last place as well. Kirk Gibson falls back to 34th. Dave Huckleberry gets by him. I know there's a Twitter account or an X account that follows this for all NASCAR races. It's quite interesting to see the stats of, oh, this car number has not finished last for 7 billion days or some weird stat like that. And it's always fun to watch. Check it out over on X. I think it's Last Car on Brock. He usually gives some cool updates over there.
The last lap was kind of a interesting, sketchy one for David Westergreen. Looks like he's kind of recovered on this most recent one, but he had a little bit of contact with Andrew Rucker as he completed the pass, and then got a little loose side by side with Cale Pocock. But looks like he's recovered. He's getting that spot back from Cale.
Oh, into the wall for Westergreen. Commentator's curse right there. He's able to gather it up, does continue on, and you will hear David Westergreen and see him on the racetrack tomorrow night as well in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. He's going to attempt to make the Daytona 500. Well, he's also going to be calling the qualifying and the other duel that he is not in. So it's going to be interesting to follow along. Hopefully he's able to qualify for the show. We here at ERN wish him the best of luck in that endeavor. Andrew Rucker's doing a nice job here, guys. Very quietly up to that 7th position. Corey Abbott right behind him as well. These two have really been able to move their way up through the field quite well.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Rucker right now. He's one of those drivers that I usually associate with burning up his tires, but he's made up a lot of ground, but hasn't really fallen off quite as much as you might be afraid he would.
Yeah, so there's a couple of tracks just from running with Rucker over the last couple of seasons that he kind of has a really good handle on. This is one of them. Usually has some pretty decent runs here in all our series.
Tight battle just ahead of these guys as Jaden Rasimas is under fire from Dominic Wright. Of course, Wright picked up his first career elite victory last week at Oswego. So good to see Dom out there in that 12 car doing a nice job. And I think he's making you proud so far this season, Alayton.
Yeah, he had a great week last week. If not for the lane change penalty, he could have swept both races. And he's doing well here tonight as well.
Well, as things have calmed down just a little bit, I want to pull up the points just so we have a view of where we stand coming into tonight. Michael Hosick, currently your points leader by 9 points over Corey Abbott. William White just behind them. He's missed the last handful of races for being a bad boy. He'll be back next week. Tommy Ryan 4th, Ray Bracey 5th, and it's Dom Wright, Connor Thompson, Dylan Avere, who is not here, Jay Connor, and Justin Vandermarl, the top 10. Again, the top 14 will advance to the playoffs, and we'll take a look at the emerging star points as well. These courtesy of Dave Huckleberry. It's Connor Thompson leading the charge in that fight over Cale Pocock, Jeff Ryan, Mitch Avere, and Dave Huckleberry, the top 5 in this one. As Michael Hosick having a bit of a blinking issue. Hopefully he's able to gather that back up and clear his issues, as we're already approaching a third of the way through this race, and the battles are still going on here for the top spot.
Yeah, if somehow we have a green run that goes long enough, these cars have somewhere around 100 laps of fuel in the tank. So we will have to see green flag stops. Jaden got in the wall there, lost a few spots, actually. One behind Rucker now. Pocock as well, actually.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to lose a spot as well to David Westergreen and potentially Tommy Ryan, as they're going to work their way around that Jaden Rasimas machine. I don't know if I'd be going 3 wide on the high side at this stage, guys. The tires really got to be screaming just about for some of these drivers, and that high lane might be a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, the high line, especially where Tommy Ryan just ran through 1 and 2, is one of the scarier places to be. There's a big bump there.
It's naturally scary,
bottom,
even on fresh tires.
Yeah, for sure. You have to be careful about how early you get on the throttle with that bump, because the car will get unsettled and do some unwanted things, we'll put it that way.
The unwanted things, definitely not something you want to see out here on the racetrack. As we take a look at the battle for the race lead, once again, Gavin Higgins with that neighbor Pete power, taking a look down to the inside of his teammate Jay Connor. These guys do a nice job of racing each other hard, but racing each other clean and not necessarily forcing the issue too much. Definitely, especially with your teammates, you don't want to take too many risks when you guys are the two quickest cars on the racetrack right now. But again, as I say that, JP Phillips enters the chat and really has himself in a good position to get up there and fight for that top spot. He was almost 2/10 quicker last lap than second place Gavin Higgins, and Gavin is essentially running the same lap times as Jay Connor. So JP Phillips, the quickest car out of these top three right now, and they have over 4 seconds between themselves and fourth place Frank Foti at this point, with Corey Abbott into the top 5, up 11 spots. He's the second biggest mover. Tommy Ryan up 20 spots from the drop of the flag to position number 8.
Yeah, and seeing Jay Connor and Gavin Higgins fighting is exactly what JP Phillips wants right now, because when they're side by side, they're not going as fast. He can run a little bit easier, save a little bit more tire, and at some point he's going to have a meaningful tire advantage to make a pass with.
And here we come up to the first lap car of the day. Kurt Gibson, the Fueled Up Racing rookie, currently running in the 34th position just up the road. Then it's Rob Mooney, Dave Huckleberry, and Josh Osborne in that order, as Jay Connor goes to the high side there of Kurt Gibson. Gibson going to come to a bit of a slow on the inside, allows these drivers to get on by, as we have our first taker on pit. Well, he tried to be the first taker on pit road. Jaden Rasimas is done for the day. Calls it quits as he overshoots the pit box and tows it back to his pit stall there on lap number 45.
Yeah, with the way that these guys are running so far, I hope that people practice their green flag stops, because this is one of the trickier tracks to do it on, as we just saw with Jaden.
I mean, I don't
It's
want to
very
do
easy
this.
to overshoot it.
I don't want to do this to Jaden, but I want to show the pit road entry. So we're going to take a look in the revised photography replay machine. Just see what happened to Jaden as he was entering pit road, just to show how tough of a pit road it is. You lock up just a little bit and you're overshooting to what is essentially a fake pit road on the outside of the actual pit road. I think it's part of the Legends Oval here at the Iowa Speedway, but just so tough and unfortunate for Jaden. He was having a really good run.
Yeah, so a couple laps before that, he actually got loose with the battle with Dominic Wright, and he ended up nailing the outside wall pretty hard there.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Jaden. He's having a good season so far. Luck just hasn't necessarily been on his side. Hopefully that turns around, as we're coming to lap number 50 here already. Still clean, still green. And Gavin Higgins, is he going to finally lead the lap? He will not, as Jay Connor holds on to it up on the high side.
With their fighting, Corey Abbott's making up a lot of ground too. He made up 3 times
Over a
that
second
last
now.
lap.
Yeah. And keep in mind, they're coming up on Rob Mooney, who's kind of running that middle lane. Then just up the road from him, Josh Osborne. This could allow JP Phillips to do a bit of a sneak attack and get by these guys for that top spot. Keep an eye on car number 31 as we'll stay high above. Looks like they're going to split these lap cars. I don't know about this. Oh man. I don't like that one bit, guys.
Not at all.
That was not something you want to be seeing out of the race leaders.
Yeah, that was a very late decision that Josh Osborne was going to go high on the wall there, and almost got hit by Jay Connor because of it. It's not something you want to do to the leader.
Absolutely not, but Gavin Higgins closes back in for that top spot. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it this time as he dives down to the inside. Just up the road, by the way, Dave Huckleberry up to that 30th position. So Dave has gained a couple spots since we last took a look at him. So good drive here by Dave, learning each and every lap out here in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by Pit Pass Network. As caution flag is out, Harrison Talon going to be involved in this one. Wow. We'll take a look and see what happened to Harry to bring out caution number 1 of the day here on lap number 52. That's not Harrison. There's Harrison, and he got... Oh, did connection come into play? Yes, it did.
Blinked out, and then Connor couldn't do anything. Couldn't see where he was.
So Talon was gone, came back, and it was too late there for Connor Thompson. Just unfortunate for the 30 getting involved in that one. Don't think he's going to pick up any damage, and very light damage as well for the one of Harrison Talon, if any, just solely due to the fact that it came as part of a blinking issue. But one guy that really gets saved by this, well, aside from the whole field who gets to make a free pit stop, Dave Huckleberry gets to stay on the lead lap as the caution flag comes out. Doesn't need to take that lucky dog or wave around as you see the field coming down pit road here, nearly hitting those barrels down there at pit road entry. That's always a sketchy moment. As looks like everyone gonna come down pit lane, even the lap cars coming down. So that surprises me a little bit. Not one lap car staying out to get the lucky dog.
Yeah, and those lap cars weren't going very quick down pit road. Kind of opened up a gap between the top 3 and Corey there. Not exactly what he wanted to see.
Jake Connor wins the race off pit road. Gavin Higgins second. JP Phillips comes out in third. Dominic Wright in fourth. He beats off Frank Fody. Corey Abbott sixth. Andrew Rucker seventh. Tommy Ryan eighth. Michael Hossack ninth. And David Westergreen round out your top 10 here. Caution number 1, lap number 55. We'll be right back here on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back here at Iowa. It's Jake Connor leading us back to the green flag. Gavin Higgins clears Frank Fody up to second. Corey Abbott Gonna battle it out here with JP Phillips. Looks like Abbott has the advantage down the backstretch, but here comes Phillips down to the bottom. Phillips lost positions there in that pit cycle, was up to third, now back to that fifth, or I should say sixth spot, as Dominic Wright gets by him as well. 3 wide behind Michael Hosick, Andrew Rucker, Tommy Ryan, as it's getting real tight down on the bottom there. Rucker and Hosick nearly making contact, and Tommy Ryan getting snappy loose up there on the high side.
Yeah, I think JP Phillips and Corey Abbott are the two that least wanted to see that yellow, because they were both making up either being able to save tires or making up a ton of time. We had Jay get in the wall on the front stretch there, and he lost the lead to Gavin. Gavin's finally got some laps led now.
Now, Jesse, obviously first caution of the day. Never mind, we'll talk to you in a minute. As Shea Mitchell going to come to a stop here with Rob Mooney and Kurt Gibson. Caution number 2 out here on lap number 16. Oh, looks to me like the 84 comes up the racetrack into that 78 of Gibson. Shea Mitchell runs over the back of Kurt Gibson, and a couple of drivers take some pretty big hits into the outside wall there to put us under caution for the second time this afternoon.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate situation. Looked like both cars were just going towards the same spot on the track and met in the middle.
Let's watch on board here with Shea Mitchell. He had a pretty good view of what happened. It did start just ahead of him here. You see that 84 of Mooney come up the racetrack into Gibson. Mitchell right into the back of that 78. Caution flag is out once again. Dave Huckleberry was able to sneak on by on the inside and avoid any calamity there. But as we're under caution here for the second time tonight, I'm going to go ahead and shout out a couple of our great partners here at the Elite Racing League. Blue Egg Marketing, rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. And of course, shout out to RevLimit Workshop. Check them out over on X. They have all of your design needs, from custom paint schemes to custom logos, etc. Let them know that the Elite Racing Network sent you. And of course, pitpassnetwork.com, your home for all things motorsports, from news to reviews and interviews. pitpassnetwork.com has you covered. Of course, if you'd like to hear your business name on one of these Elite Racing Network broadcasts, be sure to reach out to Chad Frankenfield over on X. If you see a X page with a ton of Indy 500 content, usually from 20 to 30 years ago, stuff that people don't always talk about, you found Chad. Don't you worry.
Yeah, so we put that one on the 84, kind of just washed up in the middle in 3 and 4. On another note, though, just before that incident happened, there was actually an incident between the 46 and the 22 on the backstretch. That's what I thought originally brought the caution out, and it didn't.
Well, we'll see if we can find that one. You said between the 46 of Hanshaw and the 22 of Andrew Hardcastle.
Yeah, it was
There it is.
like a half a straightaway before that.
Oh, Hanshaw just loses it, collects Hardcastle. Both cars spin down into the inside wall. Was a tally issued on this one as well, Jesse?
So I'm still reviewing. So I'm trying to get I lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm trying to get the damage time from Hardcastle for that.
It's definitely going to be some damage. The nose looks pretty punched in on that 22 of Andrew Hardcastle as he comes back out onto the racetrack behind the Kyle Hanshaw machine. 1 to green. Higgins does lead the way now on the high side. Connor, Abbott, Fody, Ryan, Wright, Phillips, Rucker, Hosick, and Westergreen amongst your top 10 drivers. Justin Vandermarl and Josh Smith just outside the top 10 at this point, with Ray Bracey and Kill Pocock in that fight as well. Shout out to Mark Robilas, robilasphoto.com, for all your photography needs. The sponsor, of course, of our Grand National Series and our replay machine. Mark does a great job just about everything he does, always producing the absolute best in photography. As we're back on our way here, Alayton. Go ahead, Jesse.
So there's actually no tally between the 46 and 22 incident. 22 had about 20-ish seconds of damage, and per rules, it has to be at least a minute.
And there we go. This is quite the fight here. Oh, there goes Bojo. Ray Bracey around. Mark Robilas around as well. So Mark Robilas going to be the triggered car here for this caution. Let's see what happened with him. It all starts just up the road. Looks like a stack up behind, I believe that to be JP Phillips. Just up the road from these guys. Yes, it is. He gets into the outside wall. Michael Hosick into the back of him. Ray Bracey going to go for a slide down into the grass. Robilas into the outside wall. Unlatches to avoid Hosick. Down into Boutwell goes Robilas. He goes for a spin and stops just prior to the inside wall. So Mark should be okay, but caution number 3 out here in very, very short order. We've gone from a caution-free race to one with 3 yellow flag periods already.
Yeah, I was kind of afraid this is what was going to happen once we got that first yellow, with cars being bunched back up and having a lot less race to run, people being a little less patient, just making mistakes that they don't need to.
As we're under caution here, let's go ahead and see if we can have a quick word with one of the drivers. Let's talk to Kill Pocock, who's standing by with Alayton Norgard.
Kale, Alayton up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
So what's this race looking like so far for you?
It was looking pretty good when I got that caution until I slid through my pit box and lost 10 spots, but I've gotten pretty lucky the last 2 restarts, so it's looking better now.
Yeah, it looked like you were making up quite a few spots there early on and doing a decent job with those tires. Do you think we'll get another long run here to the end?
It's not looking like it. I did burn up my tires pretty good because I was aggressive trying to get spots thinking we'd have an early caution, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, it's once you get that first yellow, it's always going to be sketchy, and if it's going to just be yellow after that. But hopefully we go green to the end here. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give?
Just shout out to Abbott and all my teammates for having me on the team and helping me get better.
All right, good luck with the rest of the race.
Thank you.
Kill Pocock, driver of the 77 for Abbott Motorsports. Great job, Alayton, with that interview on the fly there. Caught you off guard, didn't I?
A little bit. I was looking back at what JP was doing to bring out that yellow.
JP's doing a great job. Go ahead.
Called that a racing deal. I mean, there was just way too much going on there to try to pinpoint it on one car.
If you had to pinpoint it on one car, though,
it would be the
it'd be the one of
Phillips if I
Harrison
had to
Town,
pin it.
right? Oh, okay.
But I couldn't pin it on him because Hosick kind of checked up, and then Bracey got deck coded, and Robilas was just trying to get off the wall to avoid making more contact with them, and 47 was there, so I'm just going to call that one a racing deal.
So we have someone hanging out in the YouTube chat. Shout out to neighbor Pete over there. His driver, Gavin Higgins, currently leading the way here at Iowa. 55 laps to go, coming to green this time.
Yeah, the jump that Gavin got on that last restart wasn't nearly as good as the one that Jay got in the restart before. We'll see if he can do a little bit better here. Jay was definitely in danger of losing that spot to Corey with how the two of them restarted as well. But now Corey is behind Jay, so kind of out of the woods there.
As pace cars off, green flag is out. We're back underway. Good jump there by Gavin Higgins. He's going to clear Jay Connor as they head towards turn number 1. We'll make sure the field comes off nice and clean here. JP Phillips into the outside wall once again. Oh, around goes Josh Smith. Caution flag is out once again. Smitty gonna bring out caution number 4.
Yeah, Frank got loose off of 2 and then was way too low for entering on 3. Just washed up.
Yeah, Josh Smith, nothing really he could have done differently there, as he had Pocock on the outside. Probably didn't even know Frank was coming up at that point. Unfortunately, Sam Boutwell going to get collected in that one as well. So caution number 4. That one likely to go on Frank Fody, I would imagine, here as...
Correct.
Hey, there we go. Look at that. I got it right. Let's take a quick look here. Who's running well? Let's talk to Dusty Dewar. See what's going on with him. He's up inside that top 10. Hey, Dusty, it's Robert. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, buddy. How's it going up there in the booth?
It's going well, my friend. You're up in position number 9, started in the 5th spot. What are your thoughts on the race so far, and what do you need to do to get up there and maybe battle for that victory?
Well, early in the race, I don't know, right around lap 2, Westergreen got into me pretty good going into the corner. I lost quite a few, some track position there. And I just went going back. I don't know. The car wasn't hooked up at the moment, and made that pit stop. We've been on the move since. I just need to keep doing my thing, stay in the groove, stay in the rhythm. I'll do my damnedest to get back up there to the front.
Now, I got to ask you, tomorrow kicks off Speed Weeks here in Elite. We're going to head to Daytona for qualifying and the duels. What do you think your chances are this year of getting that Daytona 500 victory locked up?
Yeah, 10-4. Well, it's all in starting qualifying this year. As we seen in the clash last night, these cars, the next-gen cars, it's easy to lose the draft. You lift at all. Sometimes you get 2-3 wide at the wrong time. It's all momentum. You lose that, you lose the draft. You're going to want to start up front and try to keep it up front. So, yeah, it starts tomorrow night in qualifying. I like my draw for qualifying order. It's not late enough, though. I don't think it quite got a chance for the pole, but top 10 for sure, and then it'll come down to the duels there. That'll be exciting to watch on the Elite Racing Network. And then we have the Daytona 500, and I like my chances anytime I'm in a plate car, buddy.
Well, definitely like to hear it. We wish you the best of luck, Dusty. Before we let you go, who are those sponsors on board that beautiful number 32?
Heck yeah, thank you, Robert. Go good old JD's Hilltop Salvage in beautiful Goodrich, Wisconsin. Hello, Pa. Y'all have any scrap to get rid of? Get old JD a call today. Miss Goodies, home of the famous hooded towels. If y'all haven't got a hooded towel, get one today. They're the hottest thing out there. You can find her on Facebook at Miss Goodies. Memory lanes. Hello, Randy. Big balls. Walters, it's been a while, buddy. Have a cold one for me. And to all of you guys in the booth, thank you for what you do. Godspeed and good night.
Best of luck, Dusty. We hope to talk to you a little later on, bud.
10-4, buddy. Thank you.
That was Dusty Dewar, driver of the number 32. Always exciting to talk to that man.
Surprised he's not brought up into the booth more often.
We got to bring him up more often, man. He's full of energy. Gotta love Mr. Dusty Dewar. That whole Do Good team, honestly. Michael Goodman, Dave Carpenter, Dave Huckleberry. It's a group of very underrated guys when it comes to their energy and their passion for this sport. So definitely got to talk to them more as we come back to the green flag. Gavin Higgins going to lead us back to the green once again. He does clear Jay Connor. Let's see if we can stay clean this time as the field heads down the back straightaway for the first time on this restart.
Yeah, that wasn't the start Corey was looking for, that's for sure. He is in really strong danger of losing that spot to Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan, by the way, up, I think, 25 spots now, moving up into third.
Yeah, that's correct. He's on an absolute tear as caution's out again. It's Huck. Dave Huckleberry goes around and puts us under caution for the 5th time tonight. Let's see what happened to Dave. Looks like he bobbles off of turn number 4. Checks up maybe to avoid the outside wall. Josh Smith gets into the back of him. Sends Huck down into Sam Boutwell. And the caution flags out once again. And man, I feel so bad for Sam at this point. He's been collected in just about every incident so far, just as an innocent bystander.
Yeah, there's those nights where it feels like you just get caught up in everything. I guess it's making up for that wreck he dodged at Oswego last week.
Honestly, yeah, it's just unfortunate there for Sam. And let's see who else we can maybe have a quick word with. Who's running well out of Lake Norman at this point? We got Frank Fody currently running in the 11th spot. Let's see if we can pull him in for a quick word with Alayton Norgard.
Didn't deserve to be back there, that's for sure.
Hey, Frank, Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Alayton.
Definitely not the turn of the race that you would have wanted to see, but aside from that last yellow, how's the race been going for you so far?
So far, so good. I'm actually surprised I had as much pace as I've had. Just trying to take care of the tires along the way, but I'm in a little bit of a pickle now. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, with you running in the top 5 for so much of the early part of this race, I think, do you think you've got a shot at moving back up towards part of the top 10 at least?
I'm going to give it on my all. We'll see what happens here. See how these cautions fall too. But yeah, it's not too much I can do, but just see if I can pass them where they're not. If we get a long enough green. I mean, the cautions now are starting to become a problem.
Yeah, you think these guys are going to settle down in time to get a decent run to the end?
I hope so. I do, because I need a little bit of a run to get a rhythm going again, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Any sponsors you want to thank? Shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah. Shout out to the team and Bite Size Sports, and shout out to you guys.
All right. Well, thanks for the interview, Frank, and good luck with the rest of the race.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Frank Fody, the nicer of the two Fodies. Of course, son Tyler, you'll see him behind the wheel, the number 40, tomorrow night in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Oh, man. Shout out to Ethan Burrell hanging out over there in the YouTube chat. We noticed you. We noticed you, Ethan. Don't you worry. Tyler Fody over there as well. This is classic Rucker running through everybody as per Tyler Fody. That's not very nice, Tyler. That's not very nice.
Maybe I should start having YouTube chat open for these streams.
We just got everybody down here. All the champions hanging out there. Tyler Fody, of course, the perennial winner of this darn Daytona race. This guy, he could drive a tin can that's been run over by a tank, blown up by a grenade, shipped off to Timbuktu, and wheel that box back to victory lane at Daytona. This guy's absolutely insane. Him and Brent Jones, man, two of the absolute biggest bosses on those super speedways. As we're coming back to the green flag, Fred the pace car driver is off. Buddy the flag man finally doing some work around here. We're back underway. 84 laps, 83 laps in the books. Working lap number 84. It's Higgins It's Connor, Abbott, Ryan, and Westergreen in the top 5. My pick finally working his way up towards the front, as looks like a couple guys working their way towards the back. Oh, Connor Thompson catches it. That was absolutely insane. Kyle Hanshaw has a bobble right there. I thought I had him fast forward for a moment with how these guys were absolutely banging like ping pong balls out here.
Yeah, it's looking like, aside from the lead, 4th is where you want to be on these restarts, with the leader taking the outside on all of them. You get that clear view of when the leader's going. Hasn't quite made the jump for 4th to 2nd on any of these yet, but it has put Corey back in front of Tommy Ryan. So if there's another yellow, they're just going to swap again.
No, you're definitely right on that. Is we actually just got a team update for one of the drivers out here on the racetrack. Andrew Rucker apparently has picked up a new team mid-race. He's now a Pro Edge Racing driver as per Ethan Burrell. So Andrew Rucker driving for the Pro Edge organization, currently sitting up in position number 6, as Tyler Fody calling him out just a little bit over there on the YouTube chat. David Westergreen, Dominic Wright into the fight as well with Rucker, as Jesse does rejoin us. Jesse, a little bit of work for you there on that last caution.
Yeah, I kind of had to go get a couple of different driver stories there just to try and determine what actually happened. But just to play fair, we're just going to call that one a racing deal. Looks like the 52 was just kind of checking up to stay out of the wall, but he checked up so much the 8 just couldn't avoid him.
Oh, we might get one here. Chris Albrecht, Mitch Javier coming together. Albrecht goes for a slide up nearly into the outside wall. Javier back down on the inside. Here comes the Cucumber. Caleb Becumer just behind them. Albrecht gets hit by Javier again. Up into the wall goes Chris Albrecht. He's going to fall back. Well, he's going to fall back all the way to the rear. He's got the parachute popped at this point, as Robilas and Hardcastle even get by him here. Both of those guys with some damaged race cars, as Westergreen into the outside wall once again. The South Shore Racing entry not having a good time right now as he gets passed by Justin Vandermarl. He definitely doesn't like getting passed by a Canadian at this point, so he might have some anger and adrenaline building up as he works his way back towards the front with 36 laps to go.
Yeah, there's not quite enough laps for this run to get back to the state it was at the end of the initial green flag run. And I think that's where Corey definitely would have wanted it to be. Kind of regretting my pick changing to JP at this point. He's kind of had a bad turn of luck here.
You can't regret your race pick. Come on. You can't regret it.
I'm not going to change my pick, but that doesn't mean I can't regret it.
I think Jesse's is still leading the way. Was it Gavin or Jay you went with, Jesse, for your race pick?
I went with Jay.
All right, so Jay Connor, currently leading of our race picks anyways, in the 2nd spot. David Westergreen, my pick, in 13th. JP Phillips, who's Alayton's pick, back in 28th position, just behind Shea Mitchell, as they work their way for positions number 27 and 28. Quickly approaching 30 to go as well. If you haven't done so already, be sure to slap that like button, hit the subscribe, turn the notification bell on, all the other stuff that those YouTubers say. Whatever can get more views and more people watching these streams, we greatly appreciate it. If we can get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season, Alayton Norgard will dye his hair green with pink polka dots in it, and will be live on stream for the entirety of whatever is Elite's longest race of the season in whatever series that may be. Right, Alayton? I think that's in your contract.
Green is the one color that my wife does not want me to dye my hair.
If you'd like to be Alayton's new wife, be sure to send an email to alayton@ern.com.
Oh, Robert.
Oh man, As it looks like Chris Albrecht having some issues towards the rear of the field. Connection for him. Well, he's connected with a couple cars up to this point, and now his car deciding not to connect with the server. As we watch Andrew Rucker holding off Dominic Wright. Rucker up to that 5th spot, right behind him in the 6th spot. Pocock poking his way up into the 7th position. Hosek right there in 8th. Dusty Dewar wiping that dust off in the 9th spot, and Frank Fody working his way forward up to position number 10. Josh Clark in 11th, trying to hold off Justin Vandermarl in the WeatherTech machine. David Westergreen, Connor Thompson, and Austin and Abnett in a bit of the top 15 at this point. Jeff Ryan, Mitch Avere, Chris James, Josh Osborne, and Harry T inside the top 20. Kyle Hanshaw, Bojo, Hardcastle, Pecumer, and Albrecht in the top 25. Then it's Robilas, Phillips, Mitchell, Boutwell just about in the top 30, and Huckleberry rounding out that top 30 with Gibson and Smith 31st and 32nd. Everyone chasing this man, though. Gavin Higgins leading the way, looking for another victory here in 2025A.
Yeah, the way Gavin was on Jay's bumper for the entire first part of this race, I was curious to see if he was going to be able to open up more of a gap once he got in front. And it looks like he has a little bit more pace than Jay. It's been around half a second. It hasn't really grown too much, but maybe it's starting to again here.
So as you see Tommy Ryan getting himself into the fight, Corey Abbott there as well. Coming to the century mark, 100 laps in, 26 laps to go. Here comes Coco Laboot down on the inside. Jay might be struggling on those tires. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm not sure if Jay is just backing it down to conserve tires or if he has kind of lost the car a little bit, because he's lost 2/10 in 2 laps, now 3/10 in 3 laps to Gavin. So it's not going his way right now.
Yeah, as you see on your screen there, the lap time difference over the last handful of laps. Let's compare Jay to Tommy now. As last time by, Tommy Ryan was a little bit slower than Jay Connor, but all the previous 4 laps was a 10th or more quicker. Now Tommy regathering up that pace difference. Corey Abbott consistently quicker than Tommy Ryan. And let's compare Abbott to Rucker to round out the top 5. Abbott consistently quicker than Rucker, but Rucker staying relatively close as well, lap time wise, to Corey Abbott, as 23 laps remaining in this one. It's Higgins, Connor, Ryan, Abbott, and Rucker, your top 5 at this point, but that might change as Rucker under fire from Pocock. They're getting real tight down the back straightaway now. Pocock on the bottom in the Liquid Death 77 for Abbott Motorsports. Rucker on the high side, and that DeWalt Tools number 64 for Pro Edge Racing. They're battling it out for 5th and 6th as Wright, Hosek, Dewar, and Fody giving chase, trying to work their way inside that top 5 as well. As issues for Ray Bracy here. Caution will fly as Bracy comes to a stop in turns number 1 and 2. It might involve Mitch Javier. Yes, it does a bit of a tail slap from the Javier machine into the side of Bracy. We'll take a look here from Ray's view. Javier slaps into the side of the 7. The 7 goes for a hard hit to the inside wall. Up the racetrack goes Ray Bracy, and caution flag will fly once again. I would expect to see everyone down pit road here. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. It's going to be a sprint to the end. I'd be curious to see if anyone tries to take 2 tires here, because a lot of these laps have been under yellow. We've run almost 50, around 45-ish laps since the last pit stop, but probably half of those have been under yellow.
Well, looks like 50 laps to be exact there, Alayton, as we're coming down pit road now. the field going to have what should be their final stops of the race. If they come down again, something's gone wrong and they're no longer going to be relevant, so we probably won't talk about that final pit stop if they do come down once again. But we'll see who wins the battle off pit road prior to our final break of the evening. Josh Smith looks like he has taken the wave around.
Rucker took two.
Rucker takes the lead off of pit lane. Your race leader, though, actually Kurt Gibson, as somehow he was able to get by these guys and take the lead with 19 to go. Rucker, Dewar, Fody, Higgins, and Clark, the top 5 off pit road. We'll be right back here on the Elite Racing Network. Can Rucker do it? That's the question. We'll answer that here momentarily. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down. 3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
We are back here at Iowa. It's Rucker trying to battle with some corn up front here. He's cobbing it off into turn number 1 ahead of Frank Fody and Dustin Dewar. 2-tire king on this restart is Andrew Rucker. We'll see how this one pays off. Issues for Westergreen as well. He's definitely changed directions from west there to backwards as he goes for a spin in turns number 1 and 2. We'll take a look at the David Westergreen machine, see what happened. Looks like checks up behind Austin and Abnick has clipped by Jeff Ryan, sends him around. Chris Albrecht going to get collected and the caution flag displayed once again. And guys, this helps Rucker out big time right here. Less laps he's going to have to put on that 2-tire machine.
Yeah, we had half the top 10 on 2 tires here, and this yellow is exactly what all of them wanted to see, because the biggest danger that they're going to have is a differential in temperature between the left and right sides, and this is going to give it time to kind of even out and get those cars more stable. With this few laps left, I'm pretty concerned that this is just going to be yellows to the end at this point, because crunch time is here and people are going to not have any patience left.
It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I want to have a quick word with the driver of the number 21 machine, Corey Abbott. Let's see if I can get him up here for a quick word. Hey Corey, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You're currently sitting in the 8th position. Earlier on, you were one of the biggest movers of the day. What do you got to do on this restart to get up there and put yourself in a spot where you can contend for this victory with just 15 laps to go?
It's not what I need to do, it's what the rest of the field needs to do. We need green flag laps. That's that's really what's hurt us in the second half of this race is we haven't been able to keep it clean. So I think if we can get a good run here to the end, we can get up to a top 5, hopefully.
Now, there's a mix of 2 tires and 4 tires up towards the front. Where do you fall in that category?
Oh, that's a secret. I can't tell you. People are listening.
Well, we could go look at your pit stop. I mean, we'll pull that up, see how many times you get jacked up on pit road.
No, that's not. You wouldn't dare, would you?
I would. I control the buttons up here, big dog.
4.
So Corey Abbott on 4 tires. That's definitely 2 more tires than Andrew Rucker has, who's leading the way right now in the 64. In this case, though, do you have any regret taking 4 rather than 2?
No, I have thought about it. My fear was we'd go green to the end, and that with the 2 tires it'd be loose. I've really liked how it builds tight in the run, so I did not want it to be really loose on the start. No, if it works, hats off to Andrew. I just hope we can get green flag laps to find out and it doesn't end under yellow.
Well, Coco Puff, you're currently in the 8th spot. You got Dominic right behind you. If it's not you, of course, you want it to be one of your teammates to get the victory, but how hard are you going to push here coming 1 to green this time?
110%.
That's what we like to hear. Give us those sponsors, teammates. Who do you got behind you?
Oh, I got Dom behind me.
Not physically.
I know.
Come on, Coco.
Everyone at Abbott Motorsports. You two, Dom, Kale, Bren. He's not here tonight. Andrew. There's someone I'm forgetting. Thomas Coonan. He's going to run Cup with us. Everyone, if I forgot anyone, all of them, I appreciate all of them. Names are hard. Yeah, and you guys for putting on a good show.
Well, we'll get you back down to your team here. Best of luck. We hope to talk to you down in Winter Circle.
Thanks, guys.
That's Corey Abbott, driver of the 21 machine for Abbott Motorsports. As the pace truck's off, we're getting set to go green again. Rucker in control of the field, up on the high side, gets himself a good launch as we head towards turn number 1. 12 laps to go in the Iowa 110, and here comes Frank Fody, the old man looking to school the boys here tonight at Iowa.
Yeah, Rucker was very reluctant to take advantage of his position as leader on that restart. He waited for the green to come out instead of actually getting a jump.
Wow, Dusty got sideways up there. Watch Gavin Higgins coming up here to that second spot. I agree with you very much, Alayton. I think Andrew took that very gingerly for that last restart and should have stepped on it just a little bit further. Now he's got Gavin Higgins just behind him. I think Gavin's a fair amount quicker than that 64 machine at this point, so Rucker's kind of along for the ride. Well,
Gavin's
we're
gonna have
wrecking,
to stay on the
actually,
wall
so
if
never
he
mind.
wants to make that pass at some point.
Josh Osborne and Shea Mitchell involved in this one. 2 strangers to the caution flag. Let's see what happened. Looks like it starts up the road around the Josh Osborne machine. Osborne up into the side of a Navnit, snaps himself loose, gets Jeff Ryan involved. Shea Mitchell going to be collected late into this one as well. So caution is out once again. This time Rucker's only going to have a handful of laps to go. He needs to step on the gas for this upcoming restart.
Yeah, the biggest advantage you have as the leader is the restart zone, and he did not use that on that last restart. And with Gavin right there behind him, he needs to. Gavin on 4 tires at that.
So let's see who we can have a quick word with here. We're going to let everyone do their thing here in the closing lap. Strategy going to come into play for this upcoming restart. These guys definitely going to have to be a bit aggressive if they want to work their way up there. But we'll give another quick shout out here to Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. And Andrew Rucker looking to fuel his small business all the way to victory lane here, as he'll restart as the race leader with probably about 5 laps to go.
Yeah, 5 laps is about 4 more laps than Andrew Rucker wants to see, I'm sure, but he has a chance. He definitely has a chance, but Gavin is also in a good place here. Frank Foti is in a good place. Tommy Ryan, I think, might be... Sorry, that's not Tommy Ryan. Who is that? Dusty Dewar.
Dusty Dewar, yeah,
is
up in
in
that
probably one
fourth
of the
spot.
better places here. He is only on 2 tires though, so he's kind of on even footing with Andrew Rucker. So I don't know that he has as good of a chance at getting to the lead, but of the top 4 outside the leader, he is in the best position, I think.
Yeah, I noticed the guys with 2 tires are kind of easing into it on the restart, kind of hurting them a little bit. In the same time as probably also saving everybody else behind them.
We are going to pull someone in here just for a quick word. Let's go ahead and talk to Tyler Foti, who's currently hanging out in the waiting room. Tyler, it's Robert up in the booth. You get a copy?
Ah, jeez. Yeah.
You
what?
knew we had to talk to you, brother. You knew we had to talk to you. It's Frank versus Pro Edge's Andrew Rucker at this point,
That guy
battling up
sucks.
there with Gavin Higgins and Dusty Dewar. What are you telling old Frank down there to get him psyched up for this restart?
Well, if he didn't have a tally already, I'd just say drive through him. But really, he's got to watch out for the 4-tire guys. That's what I was saying. Higgins is going to eventually battle Rucker, and you just got to watch Kaner behind you here. And we're hoping for a top 5. That's the goal. Got to keep it clean, though.
And I got to ask you, from an outsider's point of view, what are your thoughts on Pro Edge Racing development driver Andrew Rucker's future aspirations here in the Elite Racing
Not
League?
good. Not good.
Not
There's
good.
just
All right.
watching him all night, just driving through everyone to get up here. So
We'll get you back down to your team. Best of luck to your guys here, Tyler.
yeah, appreciate it.
That's Tyler Foti, team owner of Lake Norman Motorsports. As we come back to the green flag, will Rucker get a good restart this time?
Gavin had a
Even.
really good response to that jump.
That's kind of an restart, I think, there. Rucker definitely could have pulled away a little bit more, but not terrible, as he does have a little bit of a gap here over Gavin Higgins. Gonna have to be aggressive as Higgins dives down to the inside. Rucker gonna have to try to clear him off in turn number 4, coming to 4 laps to go. Rucker, Higgins, Dewar, Connor, Foti, the top 5, 3 wide. It's Tommy Ryan up top, Frank Foti in the middle, Jake Connor there as well. Here comes Corey Abbott. Abbott searching for positions as he holds on to 7th, down to the inside, trying to work his way up there as we're side by side for the lead once again. Coming to 3 to go. Rucker still has the spotty bobbles, still going to lead at the line with 3 to go. It's Rucker over Higgins. They're going to be door to door into 1 and 2. Rucker going to lose that spot. Now looks for a crossover. Bobbles again. Gavin Higgins, your new leader, down the backstretch with 2.5 laps remaining.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Rucker and Gavin coming off of turn 4 even, that was not good for Rucker. He did not have the run advantage that he should have on the top, and it was a sure thing for Gavin at that point. Only thing that would have saved him was a yellow.
Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 to go. Jay Connor snaps loose on the backstretch with a little bit of help. Coming to the white flag this time. 1 lap to go for the KOR Motorsports number 20 of Gavin Higgins. He'll see the white flag this time. Rucker holding on to 2nd. They're wrecking behind. Everybody involved. Hardcastle, Dewar, after a solid run, going to be involved in that one as well. But as we head down the backstretch into turns number 3 and 4 for the final time, Gavin Higgins coming off of 4. He's seeking checkers. He's got him. Checkered flag. It's Gavin Higgins. Andrew Rucker 2nd, Tommy Ryan 3rd, Frank Foti and Corey Abbott going to round up the top 5, followed by Michael Hosick, Jay Connor, Dominic Wright, Cale Pocock and Justin Vandermarl, the top 10. Connor Thompson 11th. Chris James going to come home 12th, his best career finish. Josh Clark 13th. Mitchelveer 14th. Austin and Abnett in 15th. Mark Robilas 16th. Caleb Pecumer, Harrison Talon, JP Phillips, and David Westergreen. Your top 20 is Gavin Higgins going to come around and burn it down once again. Your winner is Gavin Higgins. Big victory there for Higgins, the driver of the number 20 Neighbor Pete machine for KOR Motorsports, burning it down on the front straightaway. We're going to step away here in just a moment, and we'll be right back with podium interviews with Tommy Ryan, Andrew Rucker, and Gavin Higgins. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year. Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down.
And we are back here in Iowa getting set for our podium interviews. First standing by with our third place finisher, Tommy Ryan, is Alayton Norgard.
Hey, Tommy, Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You had a not the greatest qualifying. Was that intentional to start in the back, or did you just kind of mess up your lap?
I completely messed up my lap. I got down into turn 1 and it just kept on rotating. I couldn't hang on to it. And I was like, well, I'll be in the back, which was, not too bad of a starting spot considering my pit stall was kind of out of the way. But I just got to go at the beginning. I know everybody's going to be sort of just kind of calm and probably doing a little bit of tire management. I was like, I'm just going to meld them and see how far I can get up there, and hopefully I can make it. And then it starts falling too bad I have to pit. But worked out, got track position, and just kind of hung out there. And I was a little worried. Some of them guys, I think, took none or two at the end, and I just didn't know if we're going to have enough time to even have a shot. But obviously, Gavin got up there and got around Rucker. It was a good effort. Car drove. It was challenging. It was pretty loose at times. I was surprised I dumped a bunch of fuel out of it in the last of it, and still was free. So don't know how to fix that.
Yeah, it kind of looked to me like you were making this race into a back to front challenge. And I mean, 25 spots gained, I think it was. It definitely went well for you in that respect. Do you think if it stayed green on that first run, you were going to pay for that, or did you did you hold on to enough tires to kind of stretch it out to where you could pit and make it to the end?
Well, one of my teammates was sort of saving. He wasn't abusing them like I was, and I was only just a couple % worse on the right front and right rear than he was. But a lot of times what it is it's not necessarily percentages. It's pretty much the heat you put in that tire because it'll start losing grip if you get them too hot. So that's probably what I was going to start dealing with. So it's kind of leveling out there, but the closer you get to the front, the harder it is to pass because, you get up there around the quicker guys, and it's just harder to pass, and they're quicker. But I don't know. I would think I would eventually start having to pay for it. Probably going to have to pit before anybody else because if I kept losing time to the leader, and I wasn't even really paying attention to that, I was just trying to get track position. So when the caution did fall, I would have a shot at it. But I didn't want it to turn into a caution fest kind of the way it did, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's always rough when that first yellow comes out after a long run and just triggers a string of cautions after that. Do you think that if there was like one fewer caution at the end there, you could have made a couple more moves, maybe get up into first or second?
Oh yeah, I could have definitely got probably second. I needed about maybe a lap, maybe two more to get Rucker, but Gavin was quick, man. If he got out of the hole, man, he was going to be gone. It was going to be tough to catch him. And then if he got there, getting around is another thing because it was really hard to make a pass. You really had to just dive it down in there. And I did a slide job on somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it was kind of like, I just can't wait any longer, man. You kind of hold me up. And then you abuse the tires when you do that. But yeah, I would have got second. I don't know if I could have won it, but it was still real happy with third place finish. So.
Yeah, podium is always a good result, even if you always want more. But yeah. Any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, thanks to my longtime sponsor, Northern Tool and Equipment. Head over to northerntool.com. We've always got special stuff, a lot of Milwaukee stuff going on sale right now, batteries and whatnot. And thanks you guys putting on the broadcast, and series sponsor and Chad for putting up with everybody. So it's all good.
All right. Congrats one more time on that third place finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bud. Thanks, man.
That was third place finisher Tommy Ryan. Now over to Jesse Rasimas, who's going to be standing by with our race winner, Gavin Higgins.
Gavin, Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, man, congratulations on the win. Kind of seeing you and Jay battling a lot in the very beginning, and towards the end kind of turned into a little bit of a caution fest. Were you a little bit worried there when other cars beat you guys out taking two?
Yeah, I honestly didn't think two tires were going to work as much as they did, but I mean, getting the top and middle of the corners and then getting the runs off the corners, that's really key here because it's really hard to pass on the bottom. I just sent it down there and hope it stuck to pass Rucker there.
Yeah, I kind of noticed as the run kind of went on, it started off like really loose and then it kind of got tight. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, the beginning of the run, you don't want to give it too much gas because then you kill the rear tires and then possibly lose it. But yeah, that's really accurate what happened.
Gotcha. Anybody you want to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
No sponsors, but you guys for putting this on. Chad for making this all possible. Mom, dad, brother, sister. sister's boyfriend Devin, and my grandparents, and Jay and Jaden for racing with me tonight.
All right. Are you looking forward to next week's race, or I don't remember where we're going, honestly.
I think it's Daytona and all the series. So, I mean, I like super speedways, but I mean, if I get wrecked out of it early, doesn't matter. I could watch Notre Dame in the championship, but yeah. Oh, and
All
Neighbor
right.
Pete too. And Neighbor Pete. Shout out Neighbor Pete.
I was kind of waiting for it. That's why I kind of paused a little bit. But yeah, congratulations on your win again, and look forward to seeing what you can do there on the play track. You and Jay going to work together on that one, or is it just kind of going to be a free for all?
And we probably will see where we end up. If we can get something going, I know you might be in them, so if we can maybe get something going, we'll try it, see what happens.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations again, and good luck next week. William White returns, so we'll see how that works out.
All right, thanks.
That was Gavin Higgins with Alayton Norgard. Guys, final thoughts before we head off tonight.
Well, I think that was Jesse Rasimas, but yeah, that was a lot more green flag laps than I thought. Well, you said me.
Oh, well, both of y'all. Good job, guys.
A lot more green flag laps than I thought we'd get, especially early on. It was a good race. There was more strategy than I was afraid there'd be after that first yellow, with the 2-tire call. Made things interesting at the end. But yeah, Daytona next week. A lot of Daytona. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Beginning of the race, the very, very clean, nice long run going on. Towards the middle, got a little bit hairy, kind of some snafus, but overall, the strategy on the end, I was kind of shocked to see that the 2 tires actually did last pretty decently. I wasn't expecting that at all. With the heat separation between the lefts and the rights, and I know there wasn't a lot of wear because the run wasn't that long, but I was expecting a lot more looseness out of the cars on 2 tires than what we've seen.
Well, guys, it was a good one here tonight at Iowa. Started off really strong with the first half basically being green, and then unfortunately bred cautions towards the end, and caused a couple delays, but nonetheless, Gavin Higgins with a great win over Andrew Rucker. Tommy Ryan, our biggest mover of the night by far, up 25 spots. Absolutely phenomenal there. But we'll see you guys next week at Daytona here in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by Pit Pass Network. Good night, everybody.